I started a sneaker collection with just a $20 bill, and now I'm gonna buy, sell, and trade my way up to a pair of $20,000 Nike Runs. And I don't know what it is, but over the last couple weeks, we've really started to hit our stride. In fact, this week we do one of the craziest trades I've ever done. But before we dive into the video, I want to give a huge thank you to today's sponsor, me. So as most of you know, last year I started my own sock company called Apothecary, and over the last year the support that you guys have been showing us has been absolutely insane. And I've got to say that after over a year of dropping sock collections, our sock collections have just continued to get better and better. The quality of our socks have gotten better and better, and this next collection that we're dropping this Friday is my favorite collection to date by far, bar none. So this collection is our brand new graffiti collection that we designed from scratch. In fact, I wrote this graffiti myself. It took me a little bit of time because I'm not a graffiti writer, but I am so happy with the way that it came out. And man, the 4 colorways that we are dropping are absolutely fire. I'm so stoked on them. And if you guys really like this collection, maybe in the future we'll start dropping more colorways of this collection. Who knows? So if you guys would like to grab any or all of the colorways of this upcoming collection, they drop on apothecary.com this Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And you can also stay on top of the release by following us on Instagram at Apothecary and signing up for release reminders. We also got sock cookies made, but these are just for us. Sorry guys. And they're delicious. I'm actually not 100% sure why we made those sock cookies. They were just something fun to do. I don't know. Maybe it was dumb, I don't know. Okay, so getting back into the video. If this is your first time on my channel, or maybe your first time watching this series, I definitely recommend starting from the beginning of the series by clicking the link at the top of the screen or in the description below. But with all of that being said, let me fill you all in on where we are at. At the end of last week's episode, we finished off the week with the sneaker collection fund of $445.73. And of course, last week was Black Friday, so we had an insane amount of inventory, and my goal coming into this week was to sell as much of it as possible for as much profit as possible. And the good news is we sold a lot. In fact, I think we sold almost 10 pairs of sneakers over the weekend, which is probably the most that I've ever sold at one time. But before we get into that though, I want to start things off with an unboxing that I picked up from the sneakers app. This is a pair of shoes that came out last weekend. I thought that I was lucky getting it on the sneakers app, but it ended up sitting on Nike.com, so I know it wasn't me being lucky, it was just me buying a pair of shoes that no one else wanted. So let's just dive into this. So I paid $200 flat for this pair of shoes. It came in probably about 5 days after I ordered it, which was a lot longer than I was expecting. And it comes in this box. So you guys probably already know what it is based on this box. So this is the Camo Air Jordan 3s. A pair of shoes that I think should have been more popular than it actually is. But it comes with this really interesting mismatched upper. You've got some different camo hits, some different materials. It looks like a lot of the upper is covered in like canvas or some sort of canvas type material. You've got suede on the heel counter and on the toe. Of course, you got 2 different lace options if you want to switch them out, or 3 different lace options. You got orange, black, and I guess a tan color. Honestly, if I wore these, I might switch them out with the orange laces because the bottom of the shoe has the orange hits, and it would kind of look like an undefeated pair of 3s. I'm not in love with this pair of shoes. I really did only buy them for this series. When I first got these, I put these on the Tradeblock app, and if you guys want to trade with me on Tradeblock, I've left a link to Tradeblock in the description below. Honestly, there was no interest at all. I thought people would want these, but I think because people could just walk into the store and grab these, no one wants to trade for them. I'm probably going to return these, and because of that, I'm not even going to count them towards the sneaker collection fund because I feel like I'm just going to end up getting my money right back. So while they were $200, we're right back to the original sneaker collection fund of $445. Actually, this wasn't the only pair of sneakers that I got in the mail. In fact, we got a huge box in, actually also from Tradeblock. I traded with someone. You all are probably aware of what's in this box and what I traded in order to get the stuff in this box. I'm not going to unbox this right away. I'm going to talk about the sneakers that we sold, then we'll dive into this, and then we'll talk about, at the end of the video, the other trade that I did on Tradeblock. Man, okay, so I've got a lot of trades going on, and honestly, I feel like trades have really been the, I don't know how to describe it, but really the catalyst of this series. Like, it's something that, now that we have shoes that people want to trade for, I'm able to up the value a lot faster. Like, every trade that I've done, I've been able to make probably about $100 to $200 of extra value, in addition to getting shoes, which then I can trade again, which costs me nothing other than the Tradeblock fee, which is like 15 bucks. So I've been pretty happy with that. And I'm gonna keep trading on Tradeblock because it seems to be working for me. Okay, but now let's talk about the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sales. It was 10 sales that I made over the weekend. I'm gonna go through these really quickly just because there are so many sales. And I'm gonna start things off with the Supreme Camp Cap that we picked up during Black Friday at Plato's Closet for, I believe, $40. So I ended up being able to sell this Camp Cap on eBay for 84 bucks, and I was able to add $72.92 back into the sneaker collection fund. And after subtracting the original purchase price of 40 bucks, bucks, we were left with a net profit of $32.92. Next up, we have the Air Jordan 11 Emerald Greens, which I also picked up from Plato's Black Friday sale. I'm not going to say where I got all these because I pretty much got them all from Plato's Black Friday sale, but I bought this pair of shoes for $52.50. I was able to sell them for $75 on eBay and then add $65.53 back into the sneaker collection fund. And of course, subtracting the original purchase price, we were left with a net profit of $13.03. After that, I had some Ultra Boosts in black that I picked up a couple weeks ago. I bought those for $20. I sold them for $47, and I was able to add $37.06 back into the sneaker collection fund, leaving us with a net profit of $17.06. Next, we had the Air Max 1 Recycled. It's one of my favorite shoes that I picked up from Black Friday. I bought those for $35. I sold them for $110 and was able to add $111.05 back into the sneaker collection fund, leaving us with an insane net profit of $76.05. Honestly, one of the best pickups of the entire week. In fact, probably one of the best pickups of the series as far as net profits go. Next, we had the White Mountaineering Adidas NMD City Socks. We bought those for $31.50. We ended up selling those for $114 and being able to add $117.95 back into the sneaker collection fund, leaving us with a net profit of $86.45. I would track my statement about the Air Max 1s. These were even better than those as far as net profits go. After that are the Nike Crater Impacts that I bought for $14. I sold them for $38 and was able to add $36.67 back into the sneaker collection fund, leaving us with a net profit of $22.76. Next up were the Air Jordan 20 Mellow Rag & Bones. I bought those for, I believe, $52.50. I sold them for $111 even, and I was able to add $112.35 back into the sneaker collection fund, leaving us with a net profit, a pretty nice net profit, of $59.85. After that, we had the first and only net loss of the entire video, and that's because it's a shoe that I picked up from Buffalo Exchange, I think 4 or 5 weeks ago. I overpaid for it. That is the pair of Balenciagas that I bought for $150 from Buffalo Exchange. Like I said, I ended up only selling them for $97, and that's because I had them sitting for like 2 months. No one was buying them. I had to keep dropping the price until someone finally bought them, and when they finally sold, I was able to add $97.95 back into the sneaker collection fund, leaving us with a pretty hefty net loss of $52.05. It sucks. It was a bad buy. I thought that Balenciagas would move better than they do. It happens. It doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen, and it's important for me to be open with you guys and let you guys know when I make mistakes so that you know when you make mistakes, it happens to everybody. After that, we had the Air Max 90 Neons. It came with a box in great condition. I bought those for $35. I sold them for $75. I was able to add $64.87 back into the sneaker collection fund, leaving us with a net profit of $29.87. And then finally, the last sale of the week, which was by far the best pickup I made the entire week. It was the Ultra Boost Haven collaboration. I bought those for $21. Still can't believe it because this shoe was crazy hyped up like 3 years ago, and I was able to sell them for $184 on eBay. It helped that they had a box, and I was able to add $185.45 back into the sneaker collection fund, leaving us with an insane net profit of $164.45. That's almost what? Like 8 times my initial investment? If every shoe that I bought had that kind of return, we would have had Air Mags like in episode 3. So the total that we now have in the sneaker collection fund after all of those sales is $1,347.53. And our total net profit was $450.39. It would have been almost $500 if we hadn't screwed up with those Balenciagas, but still, $450 of just net profit is crazy. And actually, we still have like 5 or 6 pairs of sneakers from Black Friday that we have yet to sell, which means that we have a potential to make even more, probably $400 or $500 more of net profit, which is insane. So I was gonna dive into this Tradeblock unboxing, but I feel like you guys are probably sick of watching me just sit here, and you guys probably want to see some thrifting. So what we're gonna do is check out some of the thrifting from this week, and then maybe later on in the video, we'll unbox this crazy package. How you doing? Hey, how you guys doing? So obviously the first spot of the week was Plato's Closet, and I've been going to Plato's Closet a lot recently for a lot of different reasons, but the main one is that they've had a lot of sneakers in stock and a lot of sneakers that I can get a lot of return from. And also, it's really easy to film with my GoPro there. All the employees are fine with it, whereas some other stores where they even ask me questions about just filming with my phone. So I feel a lot more comfortable in Plato's Closet, and I feel like I can bring you guys the best content here. So the first pair that I found was this pair of Nike Craters. I believe it's the Space Hippie 4s is the exact name of this particular shoe. It's a recycled build sneaker. It's a really cool looking shoe and something that I feel like has some value. Next, I found this pair of Nike LeBron lows. I'm not sure exactly which LeBron this is. I think it might be the 17. Not really a lot of value there, not something I wanted to grab. I also found this pair of Air Max 1s in this really interesting sort of like green, orange, and purple colorway. Again, not really much value there. And then this pair of Nike Zoom Freaks, which actually looked brand new, but they were in a kid's size, and after looking at the comps online, they weren't really going for much, so I didn't feel like picking them up was worth it because I wouldn't have gotten a great return on these shoes. I would have gotten something, but not enough to make it worth my time. Next, I found this pair of Air Max 90s. This one was very similar to the one that we picked up on Black Friday, except the shade of green was a little bit darker, it had been worn, and unfortunately it didn't have a box. But for the price, I was definitely willing to grab these ones because I think I can get a pretty decent return on them. Next up, we had some boxes that I'm assuming were left over from Black Friday. They had some pretty decent new sneakers in there, some Reeboks and some Pumas, but I'm not too familiar with a lot of these shoes, and all the shoes that I checked the prices of, it wasn't really worth the flip. A really nice employee did show me these pairs of Jaden Smith New Balances. One of them was worn, one of them wasn't, but again, they're not really moving for much. I didn't even really know what the price was because I don't think they had priced them out yet, so it wasn't something I was that interested in. And even though it was a nice looking pair of shoes and something that, hey, maybe I'd wear casually, maybe it's a little out there, it just wasn't something that I thought was worth the flip, so I decided to leave them. Speaking of New Balance, there was also this pair of New Balance Herschels, actually a pair that I had a couple years ago. Pretty solid looking pair of sneakers. It came in blue and red, but not something that had any resale value. Next, I came across this pair of Nike Kyries. Now, I come across Kyries all the time when I'm going thrifting, but usually the pairs that I find are completely worn out because people have been balling in them for so long and the shoe just is useless when they decide to get rid of it. But this pair seemed to be in pretty decent condition. It had a little bit of wear on the outsole, but nothing crazy, and I honestly felt like it was worth picking up because Kyries are pretty popular. Okay, so another week, another successful trip to Plato's Closet, and today I actually did pick up a good amount of stuff, more than I expected. And the first pair I got was this pair of Space Hippie 04s. Now this shoe looks almost brand new. It's definitely worn a little bit, but not enough to where I think it's not worn that bad. Like, there's a little bit of dirt in the sides. Like, someone wore this once is probably what happened. Unfortunately, there's no box, so it is a little bit harder to sell. But at the end of the day, I was looking at comps online, and I think I can get maybe like 60 to 70 bucks for it. So not a bad pickup with these, even without the box. We've also got this pair of Air Max 90s and this really nice green and gray and black colorway. This is a shoe that looks very similar to another shoe that I actually already have as well that I picked up from Plato's Closet that has a box. So this one I actually think I could sell for around 60 to 70 as well, but I got it for a lot cheaper, and it's not in bad condition. It definitely could use some cleaning, but nothing crazy or major. Definitely a nice pickup on that. Again, no box. And then the final shoe that I picked up is, I think this might actually be the first time I picked up a pair of Kyries, but a pair of Kyries. And that's this pair of Kyries. I don't know what the colorway is. I looked it up, I just forgot. It's one of the only pairs of used Kyries that I found that doesn't have much outsole wear because people play in their Kyries. And this pair has definitely been played in, but not too bad. Like, there's a little bit of wear on the forefoot and a little bit on the heel, but nothing crazy. Definitely a shoe that can still be sold and still be worn for a while. So excited about this. Excited about all the pickups. Plato's Closet never disappoints. Okay, it is finally time to unbox this crazy Tradeblock package. This is 3 pairs of sneakers that I traded 1 pair of sneakers for. In your head, you're probably thinking, that's probably a lopsided trade. He probably traded away a grail in order to get these. And if you guys have been watching this series, you know exactly what that pair of sneakers was. And I'll tell you guys right now, it was a pair of off-white Air Jordan 5s in the original colorway. Unfortunately, under the circumstances of Virgil's passing, it kind of dampens this trade a little bit, but I am still excited about it. I did get another pair of off-white sneakers in this trade, and let's just pop it open and see what we get. So I think I've talked about the numbers of this trade before. I think at the time of trading, the off-white 5s were going for around, at least in used condition, almost brand new, but still in used condition, we're going for like $750, $800. Now obviously with Virgil's passing, the price of all off-white sneakers have gone up. I'm not going to try and capitalize on that at all. I feel like that's somewhat inappropriate. And also at the same time, I might even keep the pair of off-white sneakers in here and just buy them for myself. So that's another option. But we were able to get some sneakers, and we'll talk about the value of all of these sneakers as we go through them. So the first sneaker that we have inside this box is a pair of Nike Dunks. Whew. What's kind of annoying is that I don't own any of the sneakers in this trade, and I want every single one of them, and every single one of them are pretty much in my size, so I could keep all of them, but I'm not going to. So the first pair is a pair of Nike Dunk Highs in a size 9, and it is the Kentucky Dunk Highs. So this shoe was the only used shoe in this trade, and it looks, I mean, basically brand new. It's definitely been worn at least once, but I mean, there's barely, maybe he cleaned it up with some Rejuvenator. That would be a smart move, honestly. I'd do the same thing. I don't know if he did, though. It really looks like there's barely any wear on the shoe whatsoever. Shout out to BP, by the way. He's a channel member. I really appreciate you supporting the channel. And thank you so much for the trade, too. This is an insane trade. If you guys want to join channel memberships, there is a join button down below. You get really cool emotes and emojis and access to like members only chats and things like that. Also, if you guys join the Fowler Fam tier, you get access to the Fowler Fam Discord, and you can also help me decide what videos are coming out on the channel next. The Fowler Fam Discord is just a place to hang out, chill, talk about our latest pickups. It's not a cook group. If you guys want to do that, the join button's down below. But I've got to say, other than like a little bit of light creasing on the toe and a tiny bit of wear on the outsole, this shoe is basically brand new. So let's check out the value of these Kentucky Dunks really quick. Okay, so a used pair on GOAT goes for around $145, $150. A new pair goes for like $180. That makes sense. I mean, this pair looks basically brand new, but it is still technically used, so we're gonna go with the used price. So let's call it $150. I think this shoe will probably go up in value pretty quickly, so I'm not gonna sell this sneaker. I'm probably just gonna hold on to it and maybe use it as trade bait, or maybe even, you know, keep it. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I think realistically this shoe will be on Tradeblock if you guys want to trade with me. So there's that. Next up, we've got a pair of Air Jordan 1s, a pair that I actually don't have, frustratingly enough. This is a size 9, and inside the box we've got the Hyper Royal 1s. It is really a great pair of Air Jordan 1s. Not something that I personally feel like I need in my collection. I would love to have these, but I don't need to pay resale for them. This pair is brand new, which I'm super stoked on. Obviously, you can tell the laces aren't laced, which is a sign of it being brand new. The outsole looks completely brand new. Okay, so the price that these are going for on GOAT right now is $358. I'm gonna give these a price of $350. I think that's reasonable. If I sell them on eBay, I should be able to get the full $350. I may also keep these up as trade bait because this is a really great sneaker that I think will go up in value later on, so I don't want to sell them right now. Maybe around Christmas would be a good time to sell them. I'm not sure, but I think I'm gonna hold on to these for a little bit, see what happens. So $350 plus $150, we are currently at around $500. And then the final pair of sneakers is right here. It's a size 8.5, so it's a little bit small, but it is a size I can wear if necessary. I may try and trade up to a size 9 if anyone wants to trade with me on Tradeblock, because this is a shoe that I may just straight up buy for myself. I'll just pay the going rate, pay it to myself. I know that's kind of cheating, but at the same time, I really want these. These are so sick. Let me know in the comment section if you feel like that's cheating. Maybe what I'll do is go off the highest bid on StockX, because that way it might be fair, and then maybe the after fees value or something like that. These are also brand new. Whew! Look at these. Fire. This is such a good colorway too. Lot 9 features gray leather, white canvas, you've got a yellow tongue, you've got pink laces, and then of course this like greenish bluish tag there at the bottom, and then a blue tag right up there. The one thing about these shoes which Tradeblock actually told me about is that one of the laces actually, the lace tips are smushed. Now I don't think this is any fault of the person who I traded with. I just think that this is just a defect. End of the day though, it doesn't really matter. I don't think StockX would have even noticed if I sold these on StockX, which I'm probably not gonna do. If I sell them on eBay, I will notify people of that. That's just a tiny little defect that doesn't really affect anything, but super clean pair of sneakers, size 8.5. Really wish it was a size 9. I would absolutely buy these if these were a size 9. I probably wouldn't sell these. I may trade these, depending on the trade offers that I get. Let's see what the value is for these right now. I'm not sure. Okay, so lot 9 on GOAT in a size 8.5, the lowest price is $779. 800 bucks is kind of crazy. I really wish it was a size that I could wear. I also am not as excited about buying the shoe for myself for 800 bucks. But that's good to know, I guess. Okay, so let's just go with 750 because I feel like, you know, 780 is a little bit much. That's $1250 in value that we got. I think the Off-White 5s, again, when I traded them, were going for $750. I'd be interested to see what the Off-White 5s are going for, actually, while we're at it. Okay, so it looks like on GOAT, a brand new pair in a size 9, which is the size that we had, is going for $1165, which is actually still less value than we traded for. So even if we traded a brand new pair of Off-White Air Jordan 5s, we're still getting like $100 in value. That really worked out. That's probably one of the best trades that we made this whole series. I'm really stoked on that. Okay, well, with that being said, let's get back to thrifting. The next spot of the week was Buffalo Exchange, and Buffalo Exchange is one of those stores that has a pretty decent track record, like Plato's Closet, and I always end up picking something up whenever I come here. And today, honestly, was no different. In fact, it looked like they had just restocked shoes. I tried to go right when they opened, and it was definitely worth stopping by. The first pair that I found was this pair of Nike React Element 87s. It looked like it was pretty much brand new, and it was priced at $42. This is a shoe that I think I can flip for at least double what I would buy it for in this case, so it was a shoe that I felt like was worth picking up. The colorway wasn't exactly my thing, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what I like, it just matters what sells. So I decided to pick this pair up. Right next to the Element Reacts was another pair of Nike React sneakers. I don't know exactly what the name of the shoe is. I think it's like the MXTZ something. I don't remember what it's called, but unfortunately the value isn't there like it is for the Element 87, so I decided to leave those. And then I found a pair of Flyknit Air Force 1s. This is a shoe that was very popular back in like 2016, 2017. I think Tom Stefanik was a huge fan of these, but I don't think they really move like they used to, so I decided to leave them. Another interesting find was this pair of black Nikes that I thought were Nike Dunks. Turns out they weren't. They're some sort of like sports shoe. I have no idea what these are. Let me know in the comment section down below if you know, but I was looking at them online. I didn't see much value for them, so it wasn't something that I wanted to pick up or take a risk on, but they did seem like they were in pretty good condition, and if you want to grab them, hey, they're still at Buffalo Exchange. Surprisingly, I found a couple pairs of New Balance 327s, this black, green, yellow, and blue pair, as well as this black, gray, and white pair. Both pretty decent looking sneakers, both a size 12 and priced relatively well, but from what I could tell, there wasn't a lot of resale there, and if they did move, they would move slowly, so not something I wanted to grab. Next up, I found a pair of Air Max 720s in this black and green metallic colorway. The Air Max 720s was a shoe that I was very excited about when they first released, but they just didn't live up to the hype, unfortunately, and it's a shoe that I think has kind of died out since it first released. This colorway isn't bad, it's not something that I think a lot of people want, so I decided to leave it. Just under the 720s, I did find a pair of Realtree camo Crocs. I don't find a lot of Crocs at Buffalo Exchange. I wonder if it's just because people either don't trade them in because they don't think there's a lot of value, or maybe people just buy them all up. I have no idea, but decided to grab them because, you know, they're 18 bucks. After that, I found a pair of Nike Kobe's. Now, I believe these are the Mamba Mentalities. This shoe came in this really nice black and yellow colorway with the white outsole. It was also in pretty great condition, and it was priced at just 26 bucks, and whenever I see a pair of Kobe's for under like 30 bucks, if they're in good condition, I usually grab them, and this shoe was definitely worth the pickup. The final pair of shoes that I found was this pair of Nike Flyknit Racers in this really clean blue and black and white colorway. A very nice looking shoe. I love the Nike Flyknit Racer, and it was priced pretty well. I'm not sure why this shoe died out in popularity. I guess it's because Boost sneakers like Ultra Boost became popular, and people just felt like they were more comfortable and looked better. This shoe was definitely interesting to wear on foot. The midsole was so thin, but definitely worth picking up. Right across the street from Buffalo Exchange was Foot Locker, and I decided to stop by, see if there was anything in stock worth grabbing. Unfortunately, there wasn't really anything in the way of Nike sneakers or Jordan sneakers, but I did ask about New Balance shoes, and I was able to pick up a pair, which I'll tell you guys about in a minute. Okay, so we just finished off thrifting and I guess going to Foot Locker this week, and I figured I'd show you guys everything that I picked up that I haven't showed you guys yet. So we'll start things off with the Buffalo Exchange pickups, and the first one that I found that I was actually really surprised to find was this pair of Crocs in this sort of Realtree camo look. It's also got these Mickey Mouse gibbets, and I guess a Day of the Dead gibbet right there. It's kind of odd, but it was a size 9, which is my size, or I guess in Crocs you should go down a size, so I would wear a size 8, so I guess this is a size 10, but it was 18 bucks. Not too bad. I think these retail for like 35 to 40, and this is a pretty popular colorway, so I feel like this could move relatively quickly. Not a huge profit maker, but definitely some profit, especially since it's in decent condition. The next one we got was a basically brand new pair of Nike Element React 87s, I think. This is a size 13. I got it for 42 bucks. And looking at the outsole of the shoe, I think that this shoe is probably brand new, maybe tried on, but there's literally no staining or anything on the upper of the sneaker. Unfortunately, there's no box, so it will be a little bit harder to sell, but I picked it up because it was brand new, and I feel like I could flip it for maybe like 80, so we got a $40 profit there, hopefully, but we'll just have to wait and see. If you guys want to grab any of these shoes, they will be available on my eBay store, which is linked in the description below. However, at the time of recording this video, I don't have everything listed, so it's possible that when you guys go to my eBay store, not everything will be there yet, but make sure to keep checking. Things pop up throughout the week, and I should eventually have these all listed. There's a lot of shoes to list, and it's going to take me a minute, so stay tuned for that. But moving on to the next shoe, the next one we have is this pair of Nike Flyknit Racers. Again, in really, really good condition. Definitely worn, but probably only worn like 2 or 3 times. Size 11, priced at 30 bucks. I think I could probably sell this for 60 to 70, maybe even 80 if I'm lucky. Hopefully we get like a $40 to $50 profit. Great condition. Again, no box, unfortunately. That's usually what it is with thrifting. And I'm really stoked in this pickup. Buffalo had a lot of stuff. I was really happy with that. And then the final thing that we picked up was actually a pair that I was very surprised to see. And that's this pair of Nike Kobe's. Now, I'm not exactly sure which one this is. Okay, so this is the Nike Kobe Mamba Instinct in this yellow and black colorway. It's definitely one of the not as popular Kobe models, but it is still a Kobe. Now, they had this priced at 26 bucks. Now, it's funny because there's actually a price tag at the bottom of the shoe that says 70, and I guess someone tried to sell this, they couldn't sell it, and then they sold this to Buffalo Exchange, who's now selling it for 26 bucks. And I feel like for 26 bucks, whenever you have a chance to buy a pair of Kobe's for that cheap, just do it. This shoe is in excellent condition. It's a size 11.5, so a little bit harder of a size to sell, and I feel like we can make a decent profit on it. So really happy with this, and I feel like out of all the pickups we got at both Plato's and Buffalo Exchange, we definitely made out pretty well. It's a lot of pairs of sneakers. I think so far we have, what, like 8 pickups from this week, which is more than most weeks, so I'm definitely happy with that. And then the final pickup of the week, of this short thrifting week, was this pair of New Balances. So I went into Foot Locker right across the street from Buffalo Exchange. I asked them if they had any New Balance 550s, not expecting them to say yes. Turns out they did, and they actually had a size 10 pair of the purple and white colorway. Not an insanely popular colorway, but still a good colorway of the 550s nonetheless. Brand new. I figured I could use this shoe as trade bait. It doesn't really resell for much. I don't think I'd lose money if I sold it, but I also don't think I'd really make anything after fees. So I just felt like it was a good shoe to have as sort of an add-in for a trade if I'm trying to like up the value a little bit. $110, I think, is what I paid for them, so not a bad price. Pretty happy with these. And if you guys want to trade for these, go to my Tradeblock page, which is linked in the description below, and let's get a trade going. So after all of those pickups, our sneaker collection fund now sits at $1,035.03, which is not bad, especially since we now have 8 extra sneakers, actually 9 extra sneakers to sell or trade or whatever, and I feel like that's some pretty good inventory and a decent amount of money left over. But now that we've talked about all of our sneaker pickups, let's talk about the sneaker trade, which I literally just finished and I'm so excited for. So in order for me to leave some sort of element of surprise for next week's episode, I'm not going to tell you guys what shoe I traded for. I will tell you that it is, I guess, a grail pair of Nike Dunks. It's used in a size 12, but I'm not going to tell you exactly what the shoe is, but I will tell you what sneakers I traded and what the general value of the dunk that I traded for is. So the sneakers that I traded in order to get this pair of dunks were the Air Jordan 1 High Bordeaux, the Aimé Leon Dore 993 Made in the USA brown colorway, and then the Yeezy Boost 350 V2 MX Oats. And the way that I determined the value for each one of these sneakers is that I went on StockX, looked at the highest bid, and then looked at how much I would make if I sold each one of these sneakers after fees. So for the Yeezy MX Oats, the highest bid at the time for a size 9 was $240. After fees, I would have made $211. For the New Balance ALDs, it was $205 for the highest bid, and then I would have made $180 after fees. And then for the Air Jordan 1 Bordeaux, the highest bid was $188, and after fees, I actually would have lost money, and I would have made $165. Actually, I think I would have lost money for the ALD 993s as well, but that's neither here nor there. So the total estimated value of these shoes, if I were to sell them on StockX after fees, was $556. And I'll tell you that right now, a pair of used Dunks, the Dunks that I traded for, on GOAT is selling for $975 in around the same condition. Oh, and one other thing before I forget, I also added $130 on top of the sneakers that I traded, just to sort of even out the value a little bit. I'm still making like probably an extra $200 to $150 on top. It's still a great trade in my favor, but just to let you guys know that I did add a little bit of money just so it wasn't like a weird lopsided trade. So after all was said and done, I ended up paying out of pocket $180.36, which included the Tradeblock fee and of course the extra money I put on top. And again, I should be making hopefully around $900 to $975 in value, or I should be getting $900 to $975 in value from that trade. So really happy with this trade on Tradeblock. Also, I would love to know your guesses as to what this pair of Nike Dunks is. If you already know, because I did say it in the live stream, don't ruin it for anybody, but if you have a guess, let me know in the comment section down below. But with all that being said, we end off the week with a sneaker collection fund of $854.67. And of course, a bunch of awesome new sneakers in the $20 sneaker collection. But with that, we pretty much wrap up the entire episode for this week. I would love to know your thoughts on this series and if there's anything that you think I could do better, so make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.